Comedy Kitchen with Chef 𝐿 was recorded on a cell phone in front of a fake audience. What?
And I do have a question. You can write in the comments, because I'd love to know this. I always ask this, and I forget the answer. What is your favorite apple to bake with? That's all I want to know. Ladies and gentlemen, gooey, delicious, gluten-free apple cake. Come on, it's fall. What's wrong with you? Hey guys, Chef 𝐿 right here. Can we do that over? Hello from Comedy Kitchen with yours truly, Chef 𝐿. We are pumping along. We're like in the 100,000s now when it comes to subs. I'm not even counting anymore, as long as the, nickels and dimes literally keep flowing in. Oh. Today, without any further ado, gluten-free, ooey, gooey, chewy, delicious, gluten-free. I said it twice for a reason. Perfect for fall and autumn. Spicy apple cake. So let's play along, lot to do, so let's get right to it. Come on, other Chef 𝐿, get going. Well, that sure was a selfish introduction, Chef 𝐿. Sheesh. Good thing you're me. Something. Dry and wet and apples. That's it. It's like lions and tigers and bears, but it's edible. Forget that. Here goes. In a very large bowl, or a large bowl that you think is very large, we want 120 grams or 1 cup of superfine brown rice flour, ladies and gentlemen. 60 grams or a half a cup of superfine white rice flour. This is all gluten-free. Yeah, you knew that, right? Of course. 60 grams or a half a cup of sorghum flour. 40 grams or a third of cup. 40 grams or a third of cup of tapioca starch. 30 grams or a quarter cup of cornstarch. Teaspoon of xanthan gum, teaspoon of baking powder, 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon to 3/4 of salt. And we have 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, half a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground ginger, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground allspice. Why those spices? Come on, it's fall. What's wrong with you? So yeah, it's apple, pumpkin, time of year, this kind of thing. Put that aside for now and let it sit around and wonder why the hell you have it waiting there. And right here, we have our wet. I'm gonna rattle it off. Your favorite mellow oil. I'm using 𝐼𝐸 olive oil. Look them up, go to Walmart, ask the guy at the freaking desk, that one that's way up there and you gotta look way up and go, yo, you got 𝐼𝐸? All right. Anyway, or you can use vegetable oil, a 1/4 cup or 240 milliliters. Granulated sugar, 200 grams or 1 cup. Brown sugar, light or dark, doesn't matter. 100 grams or a half a cup. Unsweetened applesauce, please, 240 grams or 1 cup. 4 large room temperature eggs, just break them in there, it's okay. A teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a tablespoon of either orange juice or apple cider or apple juice, something that gives you that tang, you want a little tang in there. 2 tablespoons or 30 milliliters, if you're using the whole milliliter thing. I don't know why they're still on the metric system over there. I don't know, but we're not, sorry. And chop yourself up some apples. And I do have a question. You can write in the comments, because I'd love to know this. I always ask this and I forget the answer. What is your favorite apple to bake with? That's all I want to know. Anyway, we use Granny Smith's here. 2 to 3 pretty big apples. I just cored them and chopped them up. See, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Nothing's a big deal, please. And we'll show you how to make the optional brown sugar glaze later. 350 on that oven. Preheat it now, get it over with. When it beeps, you go, all right, I'm gonna be baking soon, yeah. And we have a 9x13 baking dish that I panned. All right, so let me show you the next thing. If you're only using 1 whisk, use the dry first, or hit the dry first, and just mix it up, see? Boom. Now, gluten-free, as you know, I've done enough of these now. You do use baking powder, but also some baking soda, and you need that acid in there, which is the orange juice or the apple juice, to interact with that. It's all about the rise when you're using all these baking soda and baking powder. If you use regular flour, it doesn't matter. You got the proteins in there, right? And that gluten there, so you just need baking powder most of the time. I'm tired of teaching. Can't we just cook? Can we just freaking bake? Yeah. This conglomeration here looks like some sort of world map or something. Break up those yolks. Nice whisk, nice dry whisk. See what I did? And don't splatter it. You got oil in there, so you don't want to splatter stuff. Just mix it around. Come on. Very nice. You feel the grittiness of that sugar when that starts to kind of melt. It's not going to all the way melt. It's not going to all the way melt. Once you get that going, you know you're on your way. All right, that's good enough. And we're back here with the dry. Let's get that wet in there. And with a spatula, you can also use a whisk. I just happen to have a spatula. Mix that batter, baby. Watch it take shape. And you're going to fold in these cubed or chopped up apples. You chop them up like 1/4 to 1/2 inch pieces. And once you see that it's kind of mixed there, you're going to have a couple of lumps. So you just move back to the whisk. Elbow grease. My mother used to say, put some elbow grease into it. I used to run down to the basement and say, I can't find it. It was then we knew I wasn't going to go far. So I started a cooking show. And get a little air in there too, you know. And you pour it. Your baking dish. Notice I didn't put the apples in yet. Marion from North Dakota just wrote in. You forgot the apples. What kind of a scam is this? I want a refund. You didn't pay anything, Marion. I'll show you why. For all you wise guys out there. Let's shake this around first, even it out. And now, the apples. I can control the coverage of the apples. So it's not, sometimes when you pour the stuff, where you got the apples on one side and the batter on the other, and the apples go to one side of the cake, and you're like, hey, I didn't get any apples in my bite, shut up! Those guys that complain they're just sucking on the beers anyway. Like me. See, here's what we're doing. And we're not gonna leave it on top like this. We will mix it in a bit, but you see what I'm doing? Everybody gets some apples then. Hey, I was promised, I know what you were promised. That's why I'm doing this. Now just kind of mix it up, push it down, push it up, push it around. Now if you want your apples softer, which I usually do, but I'm trying something different for myself, you can kind of saute these in a little bit of butter, some brown sugar if you want, and just move them around until they get soft. But I think 350 is going to get them just enough to the tooth or al dente for you Italian-speaking people. See, now that some will come up to the top, some will stay on the bottom. The lazy one, the lazy pieces will stay on the bottom. They think they're hiding, but we have something called a knife. We get in there. All right, wake up apples on the bottom there. And I'm going to put this on a non-rim baking sheet, silicone mat. Stick it in the oven, second rung down, 350. And remember, it's gluten-free, so you want to check it. If it gets too dark here, and because it's glass, you can really look through the sides here. And if it starts getting dark fast and it's still jiggling in the middle, 325. You know what I'm saying? So let's bake this for about 20-25 minutes and give it a look. And then if you need to, you bring it down, 325. It's going to increase the freaking baking temperature, but you won't have a piece of charcoal when you're done, right? Apple tasting charcoal that tastes like, you know what I mean. All right, let's get this in and we'll make the topping while this is happening. And now while we're baking, as promised, I have a medium saucepan. I'm going to put myself on medium-low heat. Let's not get crazy. This is a melting thing, really. Melting thing? What's that, Chef Cell? Well, I'll tell you what that is. If you give me a second. Sheesh. All right. Unsalted butter in here. 56 grams or 1/4 cup. And brown sugar, light or dark. There it is again, making a second appearance here on the Chef Cell Comedy Kitchen Show. Or Comedy Kitchen with Chef. What's the name of the show? Comedy Kitchen with Chef Cell. Anyway, light or dark brown sugar, 200 grams or 1 cup. Heavy cream. Just throw a 1/2 cup in there. Don't worry about all that milliliter stuff. salt, just a pinch. And on deck, we have some sifted confectioner's sugar, 60 grams or a half a cup. So we're gonna let this all melt first. Leave that sugar on the side for now. Confectioner's sugar, that is. Once this melts, leave it alone. Then it'll start bubbling, turn it down a bit, and let it bubble for a couple of minutes until it gets nice and thick. And it's like, and the kind of stuff you want to pour over, like, I don't know, apple cake. That's going to take about a minute or so after you get it bubbling there. All right, so we will wait. And now we wait. And now she's been simmering. And here's my confectioners, all sifted, ready to thicken up. You don't want to simmer this too long. Just wait till it melts. And then when you put it aside and it cools, it gets a little too thick for you, put it back on here. Always nice to pour over that cake when it's warm. And that's the story. You got yourself a sauce, see? It's saucy. I'm going to bring it to a little bit of a bubble. Then I'll know that everything's cooked through. It's not a syrup, folks. It's a sauce. I know people are writing in already. Okay, folks, let's wait for that cake to cook, cool. I'll show you what it looks like. Well, there she blows. It is freaking gooey. That's what I want. And here's our sauce. I cut myself out a corner because I'm a corner guy. Yeah, I grew up there. So let's get this. Now you see how the sauce has become oh so nice. Just pourable. You know, you just need a little on top. Maybe we'll go around the edge here. Ladies and gentlemen, gooey, delicious, gluten-free apple cake. Are you kidding? Please, this and more. Come to Comedy Kitchen with Chef Sal. Gotta love it. So have a great time baking this. You know, you have a couple of months to go if you want to bake it for Thanksgiving. Yeah. Even for Halloween. It's pretty simple. You saw what I did. If I can do it, come on, please. Except maybe Marion from South Dakota, but everybody else can do it. Just kidding, Marion. Thank you for writing in. And remember, tell me which apples you like for baking. What type? Put in the comments. I'm Chef Sal. I will see you next time.